What do you just not give a fuck about? Reality singing competitions. Particularly how my parents watch them every year like clockwork, as if it's not the same song and dance over and over and over with slightly different emotional backstories. OMG, and the emotional backstories are always the same. And it's not just those ones. Every competition reality show has the same backstories. Can you please just mix them up a little? Sad music. Grayscale shots of Steven. His parents and childhood photos. Voiceover. Steven grew up in a nice suburb. His parents were always loving and supportive of him. They paid for his dance classes as a child and were very emotionally available whilst still giving him room to fully develop as an individual. Steven's dad. Yeah, we obviously always wanted the best for Steven. He's always been a talented guy and we were lucky to be able to afford to give him opportunities to hone those talents. Steven. They came to all my dance shows. He breaks down in tears. They were super supportive when I came out. How am I supposed to be a tortured artist under these conditions? Steven's dad. My cancer has cancer. A book being a New York Times bestseller. When all books aren't bestsellers. None of them are. Not that hard when they have a bazillion categories. I know a best-selling author. He is really just a rich kid that grew up with some legit physical handicaps. But his rich parents hired a ghostwriter and she put together some come from behind inspirational life story. Well, the rich parents have a charitable foundation that bought enough copies to put the book in the bestseller list in some small category. And now you have a best-selling author who does motivational speaking. And now I don't give a shit about NWT bestsellers either. It really depends on the type of stuff you're into. If you're into genre stuff, sci-fi, mystery, fantasy, etc., there's not a ton of grey money support. So sales are actually a good indicator of quality. Either that it's backed by a big genre publisher, or it's a breakout book from an indie. Most non-fiction on the net should be taken with a grain of salt, since non-fiction is so closely tied with interest groups. But for some readers the niche bestsellers are actually a pretty good resource. The 47 paragraphs of bullshit before the recipe. I read somewhere that those paragraphs are for the purpose of keyword/SEO. You have your nana's legendary pasta sauce recipe, but it's in a sea of other crushed tomatoes and garlic pasta sauce recipes. You have to add in that nana was from Sicily, ran through a meadow of basil, oregano and always went with papa on trips with their pigs to hunt for truffles. You remember your mom and nana preparing fresh pasta growing up, and even sneaking the vintage Chianti all the while Sinatra played on the record player in the living room. Anyway, for Midas to know pizza rolls you need a paper towel, a microwave safe plate, pizza rolls, a microwave toaster oven optional for crispy exterior. Edit. I see that my comment can be seen as rather insensitive. I truly do love the story behind foods and recipes. I can't tell you about the endless series I watch videos about the history of foods, how foods evolves over time, why fine dining is seen as pretentious to some when it truly is an art, and on the other end of the spectrum street food is seen as the true heart of food by some. All the feedback I got from folks about appreciating the science of food, the passion that chefs and writers have for the craft, apologies and no, I appreciate the hard work that goes into food down to the chefs, writers, wait staff and so on. That makes so much sense. Was wondering why recipes online went from a bullet list of ingredients to everfall. My family loves the flavor of cinnamon in our house with the changing of the leaves, the return to school, the cold, crispness in the air, the sea of words that are filling this inane rambling to hopefully score more clicks. Apostrophe. Honestly, it's probably people who want a blog. My sister did it for a while. She's an English major and into cooking. So when she posted recipes it had a few paragraphs with it. When the news reports what someone tweeted, it is pure lazy filler reporting. I hate it so much. Worse is when it devolves into celebrity, doesn't follow other celebrity on Twitter. Is there beef between them? Yeah, basically Access Hollywood. We don't care about celebrities doing things. What people think of me when I make a decision that only affects me. Is it possible to learn this power? Mostly seemed to kick in sometime in my early 30s. From talking to friends, they for the most part stopped caring around the same time. I'm 53 meters. Best part about getting older is not giving a fuck what people think. I know I'm a decent human being, so just fuck off. Be careful with this. I'm 51 meters. and I'm starting to realize that one of the world's biggest problems is older men who don't give a fuck what people think of them. They get narrower in their opinions whilst simultaneously believing that they are blessed with unique wisdom, and their egos are impenetrable. Think Donald Trump. Not saying you're like this, but I notice it in every one of my peers. They're all like my old man used to be. Impossible. 98% of drama that happens between people who have no part in my life. Edit. Holy shit, this has more upvotes than my most upvoted post. Thank you so much. What 2% of it do you enjoy? The pictures, of course. Oh, I was going to say when one murders the other. Celebrities. Especially ones that have reality shows. Celebrities, we are on the same boat. The boat. 2020. Yeah, but the people you're talking to from your mansion got evicted and are living under a bridge. I used to live in a mansion. Wasn't for me. Now I'm down by the bridges all the time. The other day I found a box of perfectly good eggs. Not a single one broken. How much butter, onions, or garlic a recipe calls for? I'll do what I want. Edit. Thank you for the awards. Garlic is measured in love. Love is measured in garlic. Garlic is the 6th love language. When garlic and onions make love, their offspring is butter. Award shows are like Ricky Gervais Golden Globe shenanigans. https://yao2b/sr6uevptzrg. Celebrities. Also any show that discusses celebrities and their significant others or babies. They can all fuck off. I get ridiculed by my friends when I don't know a celebrity. They don't know me, so I don't give a fuck about them. They're not paying my bills. What other people think about me and the decisions I make. I spent the first 30 years of my life basing everything I did off the social norm and what other people might think or say. As it turns out, none of that matters. As long as I'm doing the right thing and not impeding on anyone else's freedoms, then their opinion is worth absolutely nothing. This was the most liberating revelation of my existence. Can't wait till I hit that point. Until then though, you will become way less concerned with what other people think of you when you realize how seldom they do. David Foster Wallace. Infinite jest. Those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. Dr. Seuss, as I recall from childhood. My superiors' opinions about how I lead my subordinates. I've been in the army for 8 years, and I've found that leading with fairness, friendliness, and for lack of a better term, love, inspires more cooperation and success than enforcing loyalty through rank and command. My superiors call this being their friends and putting myself in a position to be manipulated. But frankly, I've never experienced that, and I don't give a fuck if they don't like it. The reason you have such a high re-enlistment rate is because you're such a pussy with them. YouTube and TikTok celebrities. You don't care about some rich kid who somehow got famous doing subpar dances and recording them on her phone and now is even more /s. Rich kid somehow got famous. Where people think I should be at in life. So something like this. Married with kids by 30? Precisely. Not single at 34. I can't remember who said this, but some comedian said all the girls I went to high school looked older and married by our 10-year reunion. I just went to our 20-year reunion. Now they are just old. Apostrophe. Staying out late. Getting too old for that. I used to have FOMO in my 20s. Now I have FOMS. Fear of missing sleep. I'm missing sleep right now on Reddit. Reality singing competition shows. Why are my parents still watching these? Drama. People get offended over the slightest thing in real life, and not giving a fuck about it gets mistaken for weakness. Who needs any of that shit? Yup. People think that you're a pussy because you refuse to argue/fight with someone because they did/said something. I'm not gonna ruin my day/life because someone said some stupid shit. What's even better, though, is not giving a rat's ass if they think you're weak. Like, I don't give a fuck about arguing with you, and I care even less about whether you think I'm a pussy or not. Think what you want. Just do it someplace else. In fact, I do care about one thing. I care about people going away. The price of gas. Stupid, I know, but I don't even look. I just use my _grocery store gas points and keep pumping. My parents are obsessed with where they can save 1 cent a gallon. And then there's me who just goes to whatever gas station because it's convenient, or probably has the best selection of snacks. Yeah, I never understood driving around from station to station looking to save a few cents. 1. You have to consider the gas you consume and wear and tear on your car doing this. 2. I personally like to value my time. I sometimes justify my choices about how I spend my time by considering how much the time is worth. If I were working, did you save enough in that time to be equal to the portion of your hourly wage? If not, in my opinion it's often not worth your time. I just pay enough attention to know which stations on my 30 minutes commute have lower prices. The ones closer to my house are usually about 10 cents better than the ones by my job. Farther from the freeway are almost always better. It only saves me a few $ a month. But it's not like I have to go out of my way. So why not? This is a way. I live in a major US city, but work in a suburb and 7/10 times the suburban gas is cheaper. Every few weeks I have to make a run to a more rural area and I try to time my fill-ups to when I head that way. What happens on Reddit when I'm not on it? Nothing happens. Guys, he's back, resume your posting. Good to have you here, sir. Suspicion confirmed. Has the fridge light turned off? Kinda like Scrodinger's cat but with Reddit. The one thing I actually did give fucks about until you complained about said problem for 45 minutes. Oh my god. This. Say I vote for Party A. The only time I have ever considered voting for Party B is when another Party A person endlessly spouts Party A's viewpoint on an issue. It doesn't matter that I agree with you. I'm so sick of hearing about it that you're somehow driving me away from my own beliefs. About 99% of the topics of small talk conversations I've been forced into over the years. I die a little whenever people talk about the weather. Don't live in Michigan or enter any state with weather if you're going to spend your winters complaining about winter weather every fucking day. The Royals. I really don't care at all. Kansas City would like a word with you. Apologies to George Brett. And if you've never gone to YouTube and typed in George Brett story, today is your lucky day to do just that. Celebrity drama. Seriously, why do people care? Just them love their lives. Fuck the paparazzi too. I'm actually curious who does. I've never met a single person in real life who even marginally keeps up with celebrity drama. I mean, obviously people do, since there's still a market for it. But I don't know who they are. So-called influencers. I have a friend who is obsessed with influencers. I get why a company would want to market through these people. But I don't understand how my friend is into watching these people that she knows are nothing more than commercials. My job tbh. I'm late all the time and never do any work, yet I'm one of the best workers according to them. I'm ready to retire, so I'm trying to get let go. Doing my job as poorly as I can force myself to. My employer is huge in cutting staff. I've got a reasonable chance at getting a go-away package worth several months' pay. Bearing that, they almost certainly won't fire me for cause, so I can still collect unemployment. But so far they are keeping me around. I'm literally failing at failing. My dad has just retired using this exact strategy. He hit 60, retirement age of 65. And his job would pay him 5 years wage if he was made redundant, and instantly became extremely difficult and did the minimal amount of work required. Next thing you know, poof, he's retired 5 years early. And before anyone asks, this is a large multi-billion-dollar company. No small company is being screwed over here. People on Twitter. Twitter is like a 1 million people echo chamber. Autographs. I don't get that either. I mean, unless they're signing the bottom of a blank check, then sure. Absolutely anything astrology related. Hits a curb. Oops, sorry, I'm an Aquarium. Mercury is in retrograde this month, so that explains that. Mercury is actually in Gatorade. Thank you very much. Wearing a bra. I had a baby in Feb, and I haven't worn a bra since. No point. It's easier anyways to feed the baby. I don't think I'm going back. I don't blame you, especially having to feed your baby. I imagine a bra just gets in the way. Celebrities breaking up. If you are new to Tattletale TV, please subscribe. We have new videos every day. Stay tuned for more coming up next.